Hello and welcome to Garage Rock the podcast. This is season 2 and this speaking is Cameron. And joining me as per usual is Uncle Sven. How are you this evening?
I'm fan-bloody-tastic, Cam. How are you?
You're looking very jovial and very Bono-ish.
Bono-ish? Yeah. No. Yes, I'm looking very Bono-ish.
Oh, that's probably because he's on your T-shirt, but I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that later. The old Joshua tree.
We bloody well will, Cam. But we've got a big show coming up. So much to talk about.
We've got a lot to get through this evening, so we are going to get into it. And I'm really excited to hear about your experiences in the last week.
Oh, yeah. So many gigs. So many gigs,
I know,
Cam.
you've been a busy little bee, but haven't we all?
Yeah.
But just quickly, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram with the handle at Garage Rock Podcast. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, guys.
That's right. And of course, you can send us through emails at garagerockpodcast@gmail.com and send through your new music because we've got new music coming up again. We've played 250 tracks, Cam.
I know.
We're going to play more. That's just the beginning.
We're going to keep rolling them out. It's what we do.
Yeah, of course.
That's what we're all here for, Steve.
Absolutely.
Bringing music together and bringing people together.
Exactly.
And having a really nice time.
And I've had a really nice time the past couple of weeks. I mean...
Talk to me, Steve. What are we talking?
First of all, talking Press Club. They were awesome. Then talking Spider Bait, The Bait, playing their singles show. That was also amazing. And was at the Forum Theatre, Cam. One of my favourite, or if not my favourite venue in Melbourne.
Well, we were there the other week for Grinspoon. It's like all your dreams coming together in just like, what, a month?
Yep, yeah, and you too.
Exactly.
Playing the Joshua Tree in full in Melbourne. And
you really are living the dream.
I am the American dream in Australia. But not only that, it was a fantastic show. But I do have. I've got to. Some.
All right,
man,
this sounds juicy. Let's get the juicy part out. Then you can tell me about the show.
Look, I'm going to talk about it a bit later. But just the good and the bad of humanity rolled into one. The human decency.
Music does bring people together, like we said.
It brings good people like I'd like to think yourself and myself.
Well, we try.
Brings assholes, Cam.
Yeah.
Also brings assholes. And I'm going to talk about a particular asshole and whether I may have overstepped the boundary in dealing with said asshole. But
how about I be the judge?
Yes, you could be the judge.
I'm
and
a good judge on assholes, aren't I?
Yes. Well, there was that video I saw. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Sometimes it can be a bit tight, but... I'm sure we'll work it out.
Yes, as to whether they are or not, of course. Now we're going to talk a few things. Now later up, we've got our question of the week segment, which has been getting some rave reviews.
It's gone off its dick. The emails have gone off its dick this time. It's great. I was a bit unsure about this question, but everyone's got involved, so I'm stoked on that.
What is the craziest thing you've seen a rock star do?
Ooh, there's some funny ones in there.
Yes,
I can't wait to read them out.
But you purchased a new book.
I did, yeah. I'd got Flea's Acid for the Children. What a brilliant title to a book.
Yes,
I haven't read it all yet, Steve. I only just got it the other day. But he does explain why it's called Acid for the Children. But so far, it's freaking awesome. Especially when he explains things about Melbourne. We're from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because that's where he was born.
Yeah.
And how they went to America and things like that. So I think it's going to be a really interesting book.
Yeah. And also the revelation, he hasn't actually read Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis.
Oh, hasn't he? I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, I'm letting you in on a little side fact. He hasn't read Anthony Kiedis' book. I guess he's kind of lived the majority of it.
Well, most of the book is about Flea, the stuff that Anthony Kiedis and Flea did. So I actually think that's a good thing because I've read Scar Tissue and it's a brilliant book.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a good thing because he's not going to, change his mind about stories because he's read the stories through Anthony. So it'll be interesting to see if they have any stories that come together or,
or conflicting
evidence.
Evidence on stories. Interesting enough.
I'll tell you what, interesting bloody lives. We have it so good in Australia, I'll tell you. He should have stayed here. But then again, we wouldn't have the Flea that we know today.
Exactly. Now, also, you met a hardcore superstar the other day. And look, I'm going to be honest, one of my icons growing up being Mr. Sean McAuliffe, the Australian comedian, satirist, pretty much my idol as a teenager. And you bumped into him on the street.
He's an absolute legend, Steve. You and I have been fans of Full Frontal and then Totally Full Frontal growing up.
The McAuliffe Show.
The McAuliffe Show. And then we've gone to the Mad as Hell studio audience a couple of years ago, which I'd love to go back again, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. He's hilarious. But yeah, I was at my mate's Bucks party in Chapel Street in Paran, walking down the street. We were going to find somewhere for dinner and ended up finding some dumplings. And just before that, I saw these blokes walking down the street, and one of them happened to be the mighty Sean McAuliffe.
Yeah.
And I sort of froze, Steve. I'm like, had a few drinks. So I had that confidence, but I was also, I couldn't get me words out. I was that excited. I'm like, Sean McAuliffe. He's like, yes. I'm like, oh, what are you doing, mate? I'm a huge fan. And he said, oh, we're filming a documentary at the moment. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Do you mind if I get a photo? And he goes, sure.
Oh, and nice.
Yeah, we got a photo. I shook his hand, and then he said, if you keep walking that way, you might actually be in the documentary. They're filming from that way. I'm like, yeah, no worries, cool. So I don't know whether I'm actually a part of it or
he was
getting
away.
To fuck off. Yes, it was a nice way of saying thank you, but go away. We're trying to film here. Yeah, but no, absolute legend. I couldn't believe it. I sent you the photo straight away because I knew how much it would mean to you.
Yes,
and just a downright nice guy. And then I seen the day after he sang at the hardcore show.
Yeah, there's a local band called Pure Instinct.
Yeah.
And hardcore show, and there's this crowd going crazy, pushing around if you haven't seen the video. And he's sort of like just standing on the edge. And then they pass the mic to him, and he starts, screaming back to the crowd. So do you reckon this is the documentary? This is part of the doco? I think so, because a music doco, perhaps.
He was with two twins, and my friend who I was with at the Bucks party knows them. And he said that I'm a little hazy on the details with this now, but he said there's something to do with a record company.
Yes.
And as they were walking down the street, they were holding what looked like boxes of CDs or tapes or might have even been cassettes or records. I can't remember. But so I'm like, maybe he's doing some sort of music documentary. I'm looking forward to see what the hell it is.
Actually, the poster for the gig has Sean McAuliffe on it.
Yeah, so it was planned.
Yeah.
But to see him, he's just a cool dude. Not many people could pull that off. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Speaking of someone that could pull off something cool.
Wunderbar.
Foo Fighters frontman, Nirvana drummer, Dave Grohl on Sesame Street.
What a legend. So this is the best thing that's happened to me since Taking Back Sunday. We're on Yo Gabba Gabba.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that they were on Yo Gabba Gabba. I never watched Yo Gabba Gabba, to be honest.
No, well,
I don't have kids.
I wouldn't expect you to.
No, exactly. But yeah, Dave Grohl appeared on Sesame Street writing a song with Big Bird and Elmo about seeing people in America, seeing America. So have you seen the clip, Cam?
I did. I happened to stumble across it on social media because social media knows everything that you want to see.
Exactly.
And it does. It's so cool. He's got that Foo Fighters sort of sound and that feel to it. I just freaking love it, Steve.
Exactly. But still child-friendly.
Yeah, very child-friendly.
Also child-friendly, Prince Andrew. Now we're going to... but no, seriously, no, we do have some news. And look, we are a little late to the show because we've been away this week. But Download Festival, Cam. Download Festival 2020, the lineup has been announced. Yes,
as we mentioned in our previous episode, that Download Festival will be coming back to Australia for the third time on March 20th at Melbourne Showgrounds in Melbourne and Saturday, March 21st, Parramatta Park in Sydney. So just Melbourne and Sydney.
Just Melbourne and Sydney again. And back at the Showgrounds.
Yeah, well, I freaking love the Showgrounds. We love the Showgrounds, don't we?
Yes.
As far as festivals go, it's my favourite place for festivals.
It's the forum of festivals.
It certainly is, Steve. Now, the first lineup has dropped and we are very, very freaking excited.
Very excited, Cam.
And I know this first band, the main headlining band, is right up your alley, like right... I can see it in your heart.
See it in my heart.
I can see it in your heart.
That black heart of mine.
Yep, My Chemical Romance,
yes,
Steve.
Absolutely.
They're going to join us in the Black Parade.
Oh, yes.
We're going to have a party.
Oh, we are going to have a motherfucking party. I'm looking forward to yes. My Chemical Romance, Cam.
Yeah, I knew you'd be excited about Not to mention Deftones, who played at the first big day out I ever went to. So
Yes.
and I don't think I've seen them since. Have we seen them anywhere since?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You're good with my memories.
Did they play at your wedding?
No. That was the next band, Jimmy Eat World.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
yeah.
Actually, and we saw Jimmy Eat World at Soundwave. They played just before Green Day.
Yes.
And they were like, I thought it'd be a good time, but it was actually a great time.
No, they are brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they played at either Mark Hoppus or Tom DeLonge's wedding.
Really?
Years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine having them as your wedding band. That'd be freaking awesome.
That'd be nice.
You'd have to hold on to your clutch in the mosh pit there, because Clutch are playing.
Jesus. Not this shit again.
All right, we'll rattle off a few more.
Go for it.
Ministry, In Flames, Testament, Ailstorm, Carcass, Lacuna Coil, Hands Like Houses, In Heart's Wake, and many, many more, Stephen. Of course, Friends of Garage Rock,
Yes.
Body Jar,
Yeah.
Clowns, and Stand Atlantic are playing also.
yeah.
So what a freaking awesome lineup. What are we thinking?
Well, this is just the first lineup.
That's just the first
so
announcement.
there's going to be more to come, but
Will they do a headline announcement? Like, will there be another surprise? Like, will Aussie come? Or, any of our predictions are gone bye-byes.
yes, well, I mean, they usually do. But, I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, this is going to be a fantastic show. And we talked about it a few weeks ago. The first download was very late 90s, early noughties, that kind of new metal band with Korn and Limp Bizkit.
Had the general vibe.
Exactly. And then last year was very 80s kind of thrash metal. You had Slayer, Judas Priest, Anthrax.
Yep.
This time we've gone into like the mid 2000s to 2010s kind of feel
you
with,
would. Sort of punkish.
Yes, bit emo-ish.
Mike Hem and Jimmy Eat World. And then we obviously mentioned Body Jar, Clowns and Stand Atlantic. It's all punk. But you've had your bands like that at the previous downloads, with what Sum 41 played and Pennywise and all that last year. So, obviously our predictions were wrong yet again. But we did our best.
Exactly, and that's all that counts.
Exactly. But tickets are on sale now through MoshTix. And for info on the event, head to downloadfestival.com.au and we'll see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting out the eyeliner right now.
Oh,
actually, I never did the eyeliner stuff.
You never did that?
I never did the eyeliner.
No, me neither.
I'm too pale for that kind of shit.
I'm camp enough as it is.
Exactly. Now, these will be exclusive Australian shows for My Chemical Romance, Clutch, Ailstorm and Lacuna Coil. Now, there have been no side shows announced yet, but as soon as they're announced, we will bring them to you and dissect them.
I did hear some people whinging about it being My Chemical Romance's only show.
Yeah.
But you've got to understand that this is a festival. Like, they obviously want people to come to the festival.
Yeah.
They normally have a headliner like that will only do that show, so people actually go to the festival. Yeah,
or that show in that state. They might do Melbourne and Sydney for the festival and then play like Adelaide and Brisbane side shows. But it's... Look, I mean, My Chemical Romance only announced, about a month ago that they're getting back together. They're also playing Download in Japan as well.
Yep.
So they're doing a few festival things. So I think it's good. And look, maybe it'll lead to more music. Maybe they'll just ride the nostalgia wave for a little bit longer. Who knows? But I think it's going to be really good.
Because Jared Way, the singer, was doing his own sort of solo stuff. We saw him at Soundwave a couple of years ago.
Frankie Aero, he's done a few side things as well.
That's it, yeah. So it's good to see them all come back together and ride the gravy train.
Also, I didn't really know. Have you seen, like, on Netflix, there's the Umbrella Academy?
Oh, you were telling me about this, and Jared Way's
Jared Way, he wrote it.
He wrote it.
It's a comic book, sort of, from what I understand. He wrote a comic book series called the Umbrella Academy, and it's been turned into a Netflix series, and apparently a second season's on its way. But yeah.
That's brilliant. Imagine having all these creative things that you need to get out and you're actually able to do it. Like you're in a successful rock band, you go into your own solo stuff that you're touring the world and reasonably successful playing Soundwave and things like that. Like anyone would kill it, the chance of just playing there once, and then doing your own thing that's on Netflix is freaking brilliant.
Exactly.
Some people are just born that way, aren't they?
Yeah. Maybe it's Maybelline.
I'm writing a book.
Yeah? Are you?
One day, maybe.
One day, maybe.
It's going to be called Flea.
Acid for the Junkies.
Well, speaking of junkies, Steve.
Yes.
I witnessed a heroin overdose the other night while at work.
Okay, we're doing this. So, tell me about the heroin overdose, Cam.
So the other night I was on call for work, and we finished up, and it was a freezing night, Steve. So instead of having the trucks running and us inside doing the paperwork, I said, let's go to the Macca's around the corner.
Yep.
We'll go in the car park and sit in the trucks and do the paperwork, right?
Right.
So we get there, we're sitting there for a minute, and then this green Holden screeches up in front of us in the Macca's car park. The driver gets out, goes around to the passenger side, opens the door, and I'm trying to take all this in as it's happening. He was pulling something out, and I thought it was like a heavy bag, but then I realised it was a body.
Whoa,
He pulled out a body, and it just clumped on the ground.
In a bag?
No, not in a bag. not yet. And you sort of look, and you're like, this is happening right in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
I open the door, and the driver yells out, he's having a heroin overdose. I'm like, whoa. I said to my workmate, we should help out here.
Yeah.
Well, see if he's got any left. No. Wouldn't do such a thing.
No.
And I'm like, oh, far out. And it was just funny. Well, it wasn't funny, but the cops had just gone to Macca's to get a coffee, and we're just leaving and saw it all.
It's pretty reliable. You can set your watch to that.
Yeah. Oh, it's 2 a.m. at Macca's. Let's go, boys. It's showtime. And go up to this body, and it's dead. Like, he's dead. Like this, like a real metal dude, long hair, long beard, black metal shirt. I can't remember what was on it. Didn't really notice at the time. And his mate, the driver, is on the phone to the ambos, and they're telling him what to do, CPR. And I'm like, well, we're trained in CPR. I'm not happy putting my mouth on this guy because he's just had heroin. You could see the needle marks in his arms.
Jesus.
And he's dead, Steve. I'm talking no signs of life, blue in the face, pale. He started compressions, and the cops come over and took over. And the ambos on the phone are like, you need to do the breaths. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And so the friend decided to do the breaths because you don't have to. They're a choice now. You don't have to actually do them as long as you do the compressions. And, it was a horrible graphic sight. Yeah. There was the worst thing was there was a 3-year-old boy in the car.
Jesus.
Who another person in the car took him inside. So this poor kid, 2 a.m. in Macca's having a play, just absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were working on this guy, and then the ambos turned up, which was probably about 5 or 10 minutes later. It felt like an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, and this guy was still not breathing, still no signs of life, nothing. And then by that time, there was the ambo, like 3 Micah paramedic cars, 4 cop cars, and the fire brigade, because they come to drug overdoses now. Jesus. And the cops are like, how do you know it's a heroin overdose? He's like, he's got a history of it, and I'm a drug and alcohol counsellor, so I know what to look for.
It's like you were both shooting heroin together.
With a 3-year-old kid in the car.
Fuck me.
And so the paramedics come, and Steve, they are worth their weight in gold. They should get paid so much more than what they do. They start working on him. I said to me, mate, we'll move the trucks out of the way and give them more room. There's a lot of people here by now. And then, they're working on him. About 10 minutes passed, and we're sort of watching from the distance, and I look over and I see the OD guy standing up, putting a fucking jumper on. And they all get in the car and drive off. No one's taken by the ambulance. No one's taken by the police.
Hey, wait. So the junkie...
They did a whole Pulp Fiction thing on him. Gave him the drugs that reverses the heroin.
Far out.
And that doesn't always, but brings him back to life.
Jesus.
He was dead for at least 10 minutes. At least. Because he was gone. And I could not believe it. And then another 10 minutes after that, the car park was empty. Everyone was gone. It's like nothing had happened. I couldn't freaking believe it.
Jesus.
I just witnessed some Pulp Fiction shit right there.
And then you got a Royale with cheese from McDonald's. Well, that's incredible.
So I've never seen that and never had to help with anything like that, but it was full on.
Well, anyway. Maybe you'll run into that guy at Good Things and he can thank you there.
Hopefully. Let's talk about good things. Let's bring this back up again, Steve.
We've got less than 3 weeks until the Good Things Festival, and we've got another band being added to the list. The Butterfly Effect have just been added to the lineup, so that's another great reason to get a ticket.
Yeah, they're awesome live if you've never seen them before. They put on an awesome show.
Oh,
Clint's a great front man.
Oh, absolutely, Cam. And look, they'll be joining a lineup with the likes of Parkway Drive, A Day to Remember, Violent Soho, Simple Plan, Bad Religion, Trivium, Skeggs, Simple Creatures, Carnival, and many more. There's shows in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane on December 6th, 7th, and 8th. Tickets are available now from oztix.com.au.
Just going back on Simple Creatures, I'm excited to see them live.
Yeah.
Like, well, being such a Blink fan, you know, not that I've mentioned that before.
No.
But Mark Hoppus.
Travelled around the fucking world for it.
I think it would be interesting to see live, so
exactly.
I'm looking forward to that. Steve, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Well, first give us a little bit about Press Club and Spiderbait, blah, blah, blah. Come on, make it quick. I want to hear you two stories. Come on.
No, Press Club were awesome, and I've got to say...
I'm joking. Take your time. Settle down.
All right,
have a breath.
Okay.
That's better.
Thank you. Well, I was
hyperventilate yourself.
I was out of breath.
I know, CPR.
Watching, yes, you do. I was out of breath watching Press Club. Nat from Press Club, she is like a punk version of Nikki from Pagan.
Oh,
the way she throws herself around the stage and throws herself into the crowd, and her interaction with the crowd is really good. She's like, she talks them to get them to jump around, and she was singing. It was a really good show, and it was actually really interesting seeing like a younger punk audience than I'm used to. Yeah. Because a young up-and-coming punk band, and the crowd was different. The crowd didn't throw themselves around like we used to when we go to punk shows.
I think times are changing, Steve.
They kind of just
enjoy
shimmied
it
and just shook their heads.
They enjoyed it without getting an elbow in the head.
It was interesting. They didn't feel like beating the shit out of each other, and I found that to be a bit weird. And another thing...
Maybe there's not enough angst like there was in the 90s.
There was plenty of angst. There was plenty of angst, and... Nat brought it on stage. The whole band did. But here's another thing. No one got their phones out.
Oh, brilliant.
No one got their phones out to take photos.
It's got to be one of your favourite things to see at a show.
And here's the thing. I felt, because I thought, we put it on our socials that we were at the gig, I felt really weird taking my phone out to take a photo because no one had their phones out. It was really
brilliant.
Which is awesome because I got to see the whole thing. So that was good. But yeah,
so are you telling me people were actually present and in the moment and enjoying the show and not watching it through a small screen?
Cam.
Heard it here first.
Exactly.
That's great.
It was fantastic. So props to the band and props to the crowd. Fantastic crowd.
Oh, I'd love to see them one day then.
Exactly. So they were fantastic. Thank you to their promoter for getting us free tickets so we could do that review. Definitely worth watching.
Yes.
Now, another band worth watching, Spiderbait. Cam.
Oh, the bait.
The bait. Now,
Cram.
Look, the band played for 2 hours. They played all of their singles chronologically. They started with Circle K, which is their first single, right up through to It's Beautiful, their most recent single. And then they came out and they did an encore. They did Our Lips Are Sealed by the Go-Go's. Janet sang that. And then they played Old Man Sam, which is another one of their cool tracks. It wasn't a single. But throughout the whole show, just the animation throughout the whole band, especially Cram. And I knew he's a good drummer. But I didn't realise how good a drummer he is.
Oh, he's a brilliant
until
drummer.
You watch how crazy he goes on some of those songs.
Yeah.
And there was their single, the second last single was called Straight Through the Sun. It didn't do a lot, commercially or critically, but it's such a great drumming track and just watching him go nuts. And he said, I'm going to fuck this up. Like, this is a difficult song. And he played it without stuffing it up. And he was so proud of himself. And the whole crowd was going nuts. And he sat in front of his drum set and he started tearing up.
Oh, really? Is that proud of himself?
Not even. I think it was more the fact that this would be the closest thing to a retrospective show that they've had. This probably is.
Yeah.
This is a Spiderbait show for their whole career. And they sold out the show in less than a day. And there's 1,500 people just in their hometown screaming back at them, enjoying themselves. And he was overwhelmed by it. And you could see it.
That would be a great feeling. And you know, that's a lot of years to be doing the same band.
Yes.
You know what it's like to keep a band going that long and the obstacles that they come across.
Well, that's
it would be quite emotional.
He was talking about we didn't know where the band was headed, what we were going to do, and then we released this song called Black Betty that went to #1 and was played all over the world.
And that is not an easy song to drum either.
No.
Especially while singing.
Yeah, exactly.
That song is brilliant.
And
the way he does it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know it's not their original song, but yeah, it did put them back in the charts.
Exactly. And I think there was like, how many movies had that song in the trailers?
It was
and that
huge.
was huge.
Yeah.
So that was a massive, and I think it was a big thing for the band to play this Melbourne show, and it was quite an emotional night.
Yeah.
And it was a fantastic show. They played for, again, over 2 hours. And it was just, a fantastic vibe throughout the whole thing. And the punks beat the shit out of each other. So I was like, this is more like I know. Everyone was jumping into each other, and they started in like 1990.
Yeah,
so,
right. That's a long time.
Exactly. So like we were like 5. So like we were probably one of the youngest people in the crowd. There were some younger people, but it was a lot of people in their 40s jumping around, getting pissed and just bouncing into each other.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
like
it was
classic
fun
dirty
times.
Punk spider bait gig.
Yeah, and people just talking about, oh man, remember the big day out when we saw them? And and all these people just reminiscing on the way out as well. So that was really cool. So thank you to On The Map for the free tickets to see Spiderbait.
That's awesome. I want to know about you too.
Yes. Now, I mean, the concert was absolutely amazing, Cam. I'm not going to undersell it. It was fantastic. They've got the biggest screen, 8K screen in the world.
Yeah.
Like at the back of the stage, they've got a catwalk down to the B stage. They actually started the concert.
You were near that catwalk, weren't you?
Near the end of the B stage. If you go to our Instagram, there's some great shots I got. They actually started at the B stage.
Yeah.
So they played 5 songs there. So they came out like one by one, and the drummer, Larry Mullins Jr., just started straight away into Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
That would have gone off as soon as he started playing that.
Then
drum
Edge
beat.
walks down the catwalk and he starts doing the dang 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 dang, and then Bono starts doing the. So they came one by one.
I was hoping that he didn't fall off the edge of the catwalk.
Yeah, well, I mean, tish, which he would have done on the drums. But yeah, they did like 5 songs there, which is one more than Brisbane. And then they walked back up the catwalk. And they played the Joshua Tree in full.
Oh, man.
It was just a cinematic experience. From start to finish.
Oh, okay. Didn't mix it up a bit?
No. Because it's very single heavy at the start. I mean, you go, Streets Have No Name, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You. Like, that's the first 3 tracks. Bang, they just knocked them out of the park. And then just the visuals on the screen. It was such a cinematic experience, and the lighting as well was just brilliant. The whole crowd loved it. 58,000 people there just having an absolute
I had so
blast.
many people on my social media feeds actually like posting photos and videos and stuff. So every man and their dog was there, and it looked absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Did they have any like backup musicians? Did they have like strings or horns?
They never do. It's just the 4 of them on stage.
That's amazing.
And I forgot to mention, beforehand, Noel Gallagher and his High Flying Birds played beforehand,
rocking out.
And he was great. He played a lot of his solo stuff that not a lot of people knew, and then he's just like, right, I'm going to play this next song, and then you're going to go, oh, right, that's who this guy is. And then he started playing Wonderwall, and the crowd just absolutely lapped it up. And then,
as you would.
Don't Look Back in Anger.
I heard you say.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Sally can wait, but the whole crowd just like singing into it and having a great time. So they played for like 2.5 hours, and it was fantastic. If there's still tickets to the rest of the shows on the Australian tour, and then they're going through Asia, get yourself a ticket. You will not be disappointed. Even people who aren't U2 fans who went said that they loved it. And I cannot speak highly enough. It's just a fantastic event.
And you even came away with a brand new T-shirt to wear?
Yes. Well,
Joshua Tree.
Yep, $50 lighter in the hip pocket, but exactly.
Love to know what they make on merch.
Oh, Jesus.
Are they slave friendly?
Are they slate friendly?
Slave friendly.
Are they slave friendly? I don't know.
Or does Bono hire his own slaves to make them?
I think he's got a few of them out the back.
No, you're being horrible, Cameron. No, that's awesome. I really like it.
Now, unfortunately, this is where it takes a turn. And I mentioned at the start of the show.
What happened, Steve?
Dealing with an asshole And this is, you can be the judge of whether I overstepped the mark.
How many people were there again?
58,000.
So 58,000. There's bound to be one.
Yeah, exactly. At least. Well, two, because I was there. But you at least hide it well. Yeah, exactly. I wear jeans. Now, I took my sister. Now, you know this. The listeners won't know this, but my sister was involved in an accident.
Yep.
And she's lost a decent amount of her sight. She's got no peripheral vision out the right side, and she can't filter light properly. So she's got a walking stick, like a cane as well, to help her. And this was a big thing for her because she's a big U2 fan, and she wasn't sure about going. And I bought her a ticket because she's been through a lot.
Yep.
And
you're a good brother.
Thank you very much. And we were standing in line to see the show tonight, and there was a light on.
That almost went over my head.
We were standing in line.
Heavy glow.
Exactly. And she went to get her bag checked, and we're waiting to get in. And these people in front of us, we got to talking with them, and they were like, go in front of us. Come in, go in front of them in the line, because they saw that she's got, these sight difficulties, and they were like, go ahead of us. And we're like, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Yeah. There are quite a few people who sort of did that.
Oh, good.
And so that's really good. And anyway, so we got in and met up with Alex from our Garage Rock show as well. Yes. He's a massive fan. And
he is a massive fan.
Massive fan. And so he was able to sort of hold a spot whilst I brought my blind sister to meet us near the B stage. And everyone was sort of like cool with it. They were like, cool, let her through, and me with her as well. And so that's cool. Good on him. So we're standing, and anyway, in front of us, there was this American guy, this weedy kind of looking guy, and he was filming the entire Noel Gallagher set on his phone. And he even had...
one extreme to the other.
He even had his phone, to a battery pack. He had it plugged in, so he was fully charged throughout the whole set. And I don't mean he just held it up. I mean, he was zooming in, he was moving around, he held it up for the whole entire set.
It's like a full bootleg that he's going to sell or something.
Exactly. And Noel Gallagher was at the main stage only, so it was about 50 metres away.
Yeah.
He's just filming the whole thing. And between songs, we're all shouting behind him, put your fucking phone down, get it down. Anyway, and he'd turn around and he'd do above his head, he'd do panning shots around the crowd, and there's just a bunch of us just sticking our fingers up and put your phone down. And he wouldn't have seen it because he had his back to us. Anyway, so we did that throughout the whole thing. So you two have come out and they've started at the B stage. So we kind of turned side on.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to I wasn't blocked by this guy. And so we're just loving it, having an awesome time. Great set. My sister's standing there. She's about 5 foot nothing. Right?
Yeah.
And there was another girl who was standing right in front of me who was about 5 foot as well. And they had a good view of the stage and good view of the band. I was just like, this is awesome. They've gone back down the catwalk. I hadn't noticed, but the American guy had filmed the entire B stage stuff as well on his phone. Hands up above him the whole time. Now, I took photos. I have no issue with you put your camera up, you take a couple of quick snaps and put it back down.
Yeah,
10 seconds max kind of thing. Or if I film a video, which I did, a short little video, I hold the phone close to my face.
Not in front of people.
Only person I'm blocking is me. So anyway, band go to the main stage, they're playing with The Streets Have No Name, the whole place is buzzing. The guy in front of the American guy was wearing this big sort of cowboy hat kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Normally in the story, he would be the wanker. But in this case, the guy behind him, if this guy was getting excited, so the American guy was lifting the camera even higher and blocking everyone's view.
Oh, God.
Now, my sister's 5 foot tall. She's got sight problems as it is. She can't see it. The other girl is in front. She can't see it. I can't see it either. We've got the biggest fucking screen in the planet in front of us, and I can't see it because some knobhead is holding up his
the whole freaking thing.
And he's filming, and I'm just like, put your phone down, put your phone down. Everyone's sort of saying it, and he's just ignoring us. And so I'm like, I did my old trick, Cam. I got my phone, and I just reached around in front of him and just shoved it right in front of his eyes. And he's just like, out of my way, I can't see, asshole. Oh my! And he flicked my arm out of the way. And I'm like, well, this is war. So I subtly, and by subtly I mean not so subtle, I just jumped and I just slammed the phone out of his hand onto the ground. Now I thought
Steve's had enough.
Steve has had enough.
It's been boiling.
And I heard clapping as well.
Really?
So, yeah,
Awesome.
because now the guy turns around, he picks it up and he looks at me and he stares at me. And I've got this Movember thing happening at the moment.
Yeah.
And I gave him the death stare and I looked quite menacing, if I must say, Cam.
It's help for the toughness, for the,
Exactly.
intimidation, if you will.
So the guy turns around and he's got his phone up and he's like, $1,000. $1,000. He's pointing at his iPhone. I'm like, mate, I know how much a fucking iPhone costs, right? And he's just like, why would you do that? You're going on Facebook. You're going on Facebook. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? So anyway, he's going to put my face up on Facebook as the guy who slapped his phone out of his hand.
Oh, right.
Right.
Jesus.
So and then I just start belting out. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, just completely ignoring this guy. And so he starts trying to take photos of me from over his shoulder. And every time he does that, I give him the finger. Anyway.
So did he stop filming?
He stopped filming because
he got the point.
No, he didn't get the point. The whole point was he's got to get me. I was his new target.
Yeah, right.
So I ended up eventually seeing this photo that he uploaded to Facebook of like a blurred moustache. And he spent the next 2 hours head down on his phone looking for me.
Serious?
On Facebook. My sister's like, he's on Facebook. He's trying to find you. And he's like, yeah, he was looking through photos. Cam, I don't have my photo as my profile photo, and I don't have a mustache either, normally, apart from doing Movember, and which was fantastic because his head was down for the rest of the show,
so he
and
would
I
have gone
had a
on
perfect view.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because this guy was crouched
good
down.
result in the end.
Exactly. But the thing is, it's ruined his night. I kind of feel bad for that because he was a U2 fan, but at the same time, he was ruining everyone else's night.
Yeah.
And he literally had his head down in his phone looking for me on Facebook for the next 2 hours. Now... so we're getting to the film. The show kept going on, and then all of a sudden, during Exit, one of the songs I was most looking forward to, I just hear this medic sort of thing. A guy behind me just collapsed.
Oh,
just collapsed. So it started raining at the start of the show, and then they closed the roof.
Oh, right.
And then he I don't know, he overheated or something like that, and he collapsed like sort of at our feet. What's the first thing you do in a mosh pit when someone goes down?
You help him up.
You help him up. So I help this guy up, take him to the barrier, and he gets treated by whoever's at the barrier. They give him some water. His daughter, probably in her 30s or something like that, she starts crying. She's all upset. Her father's just collapsed. So Alex gives her some water. So we're like, hey, you're okay. The concert's still going on. Everyone around us is like, what the hell's going on?
And what did the American guy do, Steve?
Fuck all, Cam. Fuck all. The guy did nothing. He actually took this as an opportunity to start filming again.
Oh, man.
So anyway, so I helped this guy out, but yeah, it was just the crowd was really helpful and things like that. Now, unfortunately, my sister, she just sort of had enough before the end of the show. She needed to sort of get back. She was like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. So she's like, I'm just going to walk to the back of the stadium. I'm like, you're blind, it's dark, and there's like 20,000 people on the ground. So she's like, oh no, enjoy yourself. And I'm like, no, I'm going to take you back. So I guided her through the crowd. She's standing there with her stick, and everyone parted. And if there was like bottles or cans on the ground, they kicked them aside and let her through.
Nice.
Even actually the captain of the Melbourne Demons, Jack Viney, he was there, and he sort of like helped push some people. He was like, oh, look out. And so it was such a good crowd to sort of like help with that and pushed her through, and she got to like the sort of, there was a disabled section at the back, so she kind of leant against that. So that was really good. But the thing is, even at the back, there was still a great view of the screen, like at the back of the stadium.
See heaps.
It's fantastic. So so there's the good in humanity, and then there's the shit. And I feel kind of bad, but at the same time not. How do you view me in that scenario, Cam?
Well, when you really think about it, like it's not like it was a 5-minute thing. It was boiling up over time.
He filmed the whole
and
gig.
He obviously didn't get it. So I would have felt like doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Whether I would have had the guts to do it, I probably would have asked you to do it for me. But no, I agree with what you did because, well, number one, it's one of your all-time favourite bands.
A lot of people
and
would have
you've spent a lot of money. Everyone spent a lot of money to get there.
Yeah.
And they don't come every single year.
9 years, Cam.
Exactly. So you kind of don't want it to be ruined by someone holding up an obstacle in front of you so you can't freaking see.
For the whole show.
So, I don't blame you.
Thank you. I'm interested to find out what our listeners think, actually.
Is Steve a prick?
Yes.
That's our question for the week, I reckon, Steve.
GarageRockPodcast@gmail.com. Is Steve a prick?
I'm going to go with yes, but understandably.
Yes.
In this situation.
In this situation. I mean, regularly, yes, but in this scenario, not so much. So that's that. But speaking of question of the week, Cam.
Yeah, let's get into it. Our question of the week this week is, what is the craziest thing you've seen a rock star do? Now, we've had a good response, like I said earlier, Steve, and I'm really looking forward to reading these out, so I might start.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, absolutely go for it.
Brenton has written in and he's said a draw between Stevie from Clowns starting their Unify set by climbing the scaffolding and hanging on with one arm while singing. That's fucking awesome. Which was very effective in getting everyone to come out of their tents and head to the stage area. Or, he says, Jason Arlen Butler of Let Live crowd surfing in a bin while singing also at Unify. Unify come out with the great shows, don't they?
I also think one of the best ones was actually when earlier this year watching Crossfaith when the crowd started rowing. Yeah, everyone in the crowd in the mosh pit just sat down and started going, row. And they used to say, man, you Aussies are crazy. Yeah. But in a Japanese voice.
That was really cool to see, wasn't it?
It was actually.
Amy has said, Mark from Guttermouth spit into the air and catch it in his mouth.
Oh, that's quite impressive feat.
Caught it in his mouth.
Well, better than someone else catching it in their mouth.
Well, that's true. She also loves watching Chris Sheeny play a guitar solo on top of Scott's double bass from The Living End. I fucking love that, Steve. I've seen that a million times, and every time it still gets me.
Oh, it's awesome. Got
to agree with that. Steve has written in and he said, Keith Moon from The Who slamming a brand new Rolls Royce into a hotel swimming pool just because he could.
Why not? Why not?
Well, I suppose, why the hell not, Steve?
Exactly.
Like, you got that money and you feel like doing it. Maybe do you wake up and go, I feel like driving an expensive car and ruining it today.
I say if it feels good, do it.
Do it. Adam's written in and said Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from Kiss releasing a disco album. Did they really?
I mean, if that's what Adam said. I'm going to be honest. I was thinking about this the other week. My least favourite genre would have to be probably disco.
Disco?
Disco.
Yeah? Disco stew?
Disco stew is looking at you.
Yeah, disco's boring.
Yeah, I just can't stand it.
It was a different era.
It was a different era altogether.
Christine.
Get well soon, Paul Stanley.
Yes.
As well. Cancelled their Australian tour. Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, Kiss. It's been a shit year for metal fans.
Well, when all you've got is retrospective tours.
That's it.
Some are going to start dropping off. Christine's written in, when I was 16, I was left slightly traumatised and a little less naive about life after witnessing the one and only Marilyn Manson stripped down to body contoured PVC shorts and jerks his PVC appendage with his microphone cord. All from the front row, Steve.
That's.
I
mean, for a 16-year-old, that's how you learn about life.
That's full on. Yeah, I've got a similar story to that. I might put that in mine, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did Marilyn Manson do to you? Ben wrote in, and we spoke about Jimmy Eat World before. He talked about Jim Adkins from Jimmy Eat World smash his guitar all over the stage.
Oh, brill.
Could we see this at Download 2020, Cam?
Hope fully.
Yes. Exactly. Heather has also said any Motley Crue concert.
Oh, for sure.
I'd put that up there also with Steel Panther.
Oh, Peel Stanther. Nice.
JP said Chris Rowe from the Ataris dropkicked his amp at Falls Festival for the midnight show and the power blew up for the remainder of Falls. Well done there. Good chance to ruin a festival.
Whoopsies.
Georgia, now she wrote on Instagram, Matt from Brisbane band Old Town last night, and then Matt replied, haha, whoops. Now I looked online at this and there was video of a massive hole in the roof of the venue. So I'm not entirely sure what went down, but the venue has a massive hole in the roof now. So well done, Matt. And finally, Aaron has written in and he said, at Falls Festival festival watching Warren from the Vandals strip naked, throw his guitar, chase the cameraman around the stage, steal the camera, then repeatedly slap his junk on the lens, which was being broadcast over the big screens. So we've all had a big weekend like that.
Some people have just got nothing to hide. They're just no shame. I love it. That's what it should be like on stage.
Exactly.
If that's what you want.
If that's what you want. If you want to get out there and just slam your junk onto a television screen, why not? I think Flea played the Woodstock 99. I think he played that in the nude.
Actually, that's in Anthony Kiedis' book. He talks about that, how before they went on stage, Flea just come up to him and said, I really want to play this show naked. Like, seriously felt like that's what he really wanted to do. And Anthony just turned around and basically said, if that's what you feel, do it, man. Just be free. And so he obviously did. Cartwheels and all.
Yeah. Because he is a nudist. I've seen like a doco where he prefers like to walk around the house naked rather than wearing clothes.
Some people are just comfortable like that, and that's fine. So
thank you to everyone for writing in. But now it's our turn. And Cam, what's the craziest thing you've seen a rock star do?
Honourable mention to the singer for A Day to Remember when he went out into the crowd in an orb ball at Soundwave.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
That was crazy. Like, if that thing pops, he's going to die.
Possibly.
Seriously.
All the people underneath him.
There's no way to get out, you know?
No, true.
You'd probably run out of air.
You're just breathing straight into plastic.
No, but it's a mosh pit. Everyone has etiquette.
Exactly.
And they would help him out, wouldn't they, Steve?
Exactly. And the good thing is there'd be plenty of evidence because everyone would have been filming it. So, you know,
exactly.
And see how it happened.
But my craziest rock star moment, Steve, would have to be, and I only just thought of it, talking about Marilyn Manson. When I went to my first big day out, Rammstein played.
Oh, yes. Yes.
German Gothic rockers.
Industrial metal.
Rammstein. They played, and, well, first of all, I was 16 and I was at least a foot shorter than what I am now.
Wow.
And I was at the front of the mosh pit with me mates who were at least 2 foot taller than me then. And I was looking around going, yeah, there's a lot of people with spiky bracelets and necklaces on. I'm like, I'm going to get out of here. So I kind of watched from the back, which I'm glad I did because I would have got mauled. First song, they from memory, they come out, the singer come out sort of like with his arms out to the side, like a crucifix kind of form, if you will.
Yes.
And they started playing Du Hast.
Oh, nice start.
Du Hast mich. And he's standing there, and all of a sudden he just bursts into flames. He's on fire, singing. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And then they go on to play Buck Dish.
Yep.
Which means bend over in German.
Yes.
And the singer gets the keyboardist on sort of like a bondage dog lead. And he's all gagged and stuff. And he brings him down to the main stage and bends him over.
Yep.
Pulls out a dildo, a big dick.
A big dick.
Pretends to, do the thing with him. And then...
Sex. You mean sex?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to make this sound, respectful, but I've said dildo and bend over
and buck dick.
But it doesn't end there, Steve. It starts squirting out massive amounts of cum, which is... which is water.
Yeah. You had no issue saying cum.
He sprays it out all over him, all over the crowd. And my 16-year-old self is thinking, wow, these guys know how to put on a show.
Wow, Jesus.
So that's my craziest rock star moment. Steve, what's yours?
Oh, man. I tell you what, every time I sleep with a girl and we do it doggy style, I hate it because I can always feel her eyes burning in the back of my head. Now,
I mean, I've tried anal before, but it hurt me too much.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we've all been there. Now, mine's probably not as crazy as yours. It's just a fucking stupid story. Now, I went to see Guns N' Roses in about 2006, which is not the best time to have seen Guns N' Roses.
Because it was just Axl Rose.
Axl and friends, right? Now, Axl, during his set, he came out at some point on like a lowrider bike, not a motorbike, but it's like a Harley. And so he sort of like rode it to the corners of the stage, but then he realised that he's kind of stuck there and he couldn't get it. So he had to like backpedal and it looked the most awkward thing. And then they had a ramp, which on top of the ramp was the drum kit and the keyboardist and everything. And so he tried riding up the ramp and then he got halfway through and then realised he's not going to make the distance and then started rolling backwards. And I was there with my mate going, what the fuck is he doing? It was just
I didn't think this through.
But the support act was Sebastian Bach, who was the lead singer from Skid Row. Now, he came out on stage with a lot of energy, and he long hair, and he'd get this microphone lead, and he'd swing it around while he was banging his head up and down and up and down. And every time he would do it, the cable would get longer and longer and longer. And I was saying to my mate, he's going to smash it into the drum kit at some stage. And sure enough, he swings it and it smacks into the side of the drum kit, shatters the mic, and it's broken. And then he pulls it up and the microphone's just completely stuffed. So out of frustration, he just boots a shitload of cables that are at the front of the stage, which just happens to be his backup mic. So you see the second mic just fly into the crowd. That's a
brilliant idea. Well done.
He just kicks the second mic into the crowd, and you just hear this massive thud as it sort of lands. So anyway...
It's gone bye-byes.
It's gone bye-bye. So they run out another microphone, and they've put another backup cable at the front as well. So he goes to run off to one side of the stage, but whoever's run it out to him has it's sort of wrapped around the drum kit.
Oh, right.
And so as he's gone to run, it's slipped out of his hand, and he's ended up snapping the cord and throwing the mic, and he's thrown it against a wall and shattered it. So in frustration, he's booted the cords again and sent another mic streaming out into the audience and then shattering it. But also, so that was insane as well. But he's run to the end of the stage, and there was some guy who was just going absolutely mental. This is at Rod Laver Arena. He's hanging over the barriers of the bottom level, and there's like a good 5-6 metre drop onto concrete floor, and the guy's just head banging it to a song. And Sebastian Bach's like head banging back to this guy. And then the next thing you know, this guy's just flipped over the rails and just plummeted straight onto the bottom floor. And then you just hear Sebastian Bach go, "Shit, man, are you all right?" And then just walks off. So that's, I mean, not
what
as
an
crazy
eventful show.
Setting yourself on fire and then blowing a load over the crowd. But still, he went through 5 microphones in his 45-minute set.
Steve, it's not a competition,
it's not a competition,
I won.
But you definitely won. So, Cam, since you did win, I'll get you to throw to our question for our next episode.
Yes, Steve. Well, in light of Flea's new autobiography that's just come out, I thought it'd be a good idea for next week's question to be, what is your favourite music biography?
That's a very good question.
I'm interested to hear this because I want to read more and more and more because I freaking love anyone's autobiographies, especially musicians, actors.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. I actually just read Demi Moore's as well. That was good.
Oh, nice.
Very interesting.
Now, I hate reading, so are we allowed to add films into this?
Film?
If
what?
it's a biography, if it's a biopic, because otherwise,
why not?
Otherwise, I'm fucked.
Well, maybe you can read one by then. That can be your favourite.
Dude, I've got Lenny Hayes' biography sitting on my bedside table. The opening chapter has been read 6 months ago.
Fair enough.
I'm not a big reader.
No, all right. What's your favourite
biography?
Music biography.
Yeah.
Can be book or movie.
Yes, fantastic.
Cool. Oh, that's going to make it really hard.
Is it now?
There's a lot of cool biopics.
That is true. Well, we'll leave it up to our listeners to decide. Yeah. But right now, Cam,
it's time
for new music.
It certainly is, Steve, and you know what that means? It's time for new music.
Exactly.
Who's up first? Are you up first?
You're here to help me get through that. Yes, I'm up first. And our first track is by Sydney singer-songwriter Jackson Carroll. Now, he's released his new single, Happy Man, taken from his new EP, Name It After Me, which will be released on November 22nd. Now, this is a really catchy, upbeat track. It's summery music, Cam. It's the kind of song you'd like to listen to while you're driving down the coast, if I'm being honest.
I would have to agree. I can picture driving along Great Ocean Road.
Exactly. Just watching another apostle fall.
Yeah, another one about to dust.
Hey. Now, Jackson has announced a whole bunch of shows across the country this summer, so head to Jackson Carroll's Facebook page for all the dates and venues. But right now, this is Happy Man by Jackson Carroll.
I want to drift free in the air I breathe. I'd like to be the show that no one would leave. I'm kind of hoping I can find some peace on a couch somewhere. The only thing to keep me awake, myself. The only thing to make me afraid, myself. Don't know if it's achievable in my time, but I'll find a way to help me ease my mind. The way the people on a train they do. And if he's not feeling kind, I know that I can take another call on you. So baby, please appeal to me. Attach something real to me. No, baby, don't conceal from me. Show me there's a soul worth saving here. I wanna be a tall boy. I wanna be a strong boy, poor boy. I like to be a cool boy. I like to be a calm boy, clean boy. I wanna be a happy man.
That was Happy Man by Jackson Carroll. Up next, we've got Contact Sport by Flickertail. Flickertail are an Irish-Australian hybrid rock band from Sydney's inner west. Isn't that an interesting
It's an interesting sentence you've just said.
It's beautiful.
I love it.
They've released their new single, Contact Sport. This is a guitar-fueled track, and the band draw inspiration from the likes of The Darkness, Airborne, Thon Lozzie, and you can...
I even wrote it as Thon Lozzie for you.
I love it. And you can tell that the band loves their rock and guitars. I mean, who doesn't? Flickertail have played with the likes of Super Jesus, Living Colour, Zach Starkey, who's the drummer for Oasis and The Who, not to mention Steve, he's the Beatles drummer's son.
Yeah.
In case you don't know who Ringo Starr is.
Yeah.
Well, that's his son.
Yeah.
This is just an awesome rock and roll track. The lead singer, Liam Whalen's vocals go really well with the guitar, and everything just comes together beautifully. So let's check it out. Contact Sport by Flickertail.
Was Contact Sport by Flickertail. Very nice there, Cam.
It was.
A bit of an Irish-Australian hybrid rock.
Yes, what more could you want in life?
Exactly. Now, up next, we've got Sydney five-piece rock outfit Bad Pony. Now, they've returned with their new single, Villain. The band has spent 2019 writing new music, and this is the first taste of what's to come in 2020. And the song has a great groove throughout the song and a chunky guitar sound as well. And Cam, I love both groove and junkiness.
Of course you do.
Exactly, which is pretty much my Tinder profile. Now, Bad Pony have announced 5 shows this summer in New South Wales and Victoria. For all of the dates, head to Bad Pony's Facebook page. But right now, this is Villain by Bad Pony.
In sweets and in the filler, you won't believe the gauntlet I got through to start your mind up. No, so take it, go and get it. Yeah, you're the fucking better than the fool in the gutter trying to get the bugs out from inside him. No, well I guess we're old. Yeah, I guess we're old.
That was Villain by Bad Pony. Up next, Steve, we've got Crazy by June Rats.
Yeah.
Really getting into these guys lately. They know how to rock and roll.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. That's a brilliant song, I reckon. They're a Brisbane trio, June Rats. They've announced their release of their new album, Hurry Up and Wait. Steve, hurry up and wait.
Sorry, Cam.
Which is out January 31st in 2020. Featuring their new single, Crazy. According to the band, Crazy is one of the heavier tracks they wrote whilst they were recording in Los Angeles. Lucky bastards, how much fun would it be to record in Los Angeles?
Very fun.
Because they were surrounded by a lot of excess, saying that everyone is doing anything and everything because it's available, whether it's taking drugs, eating shitty food, or being surrounded by technology. I can definitely see that.
Not just LA.
Yeah.
Pretty much anywhere.
The food is shitty there, I've got to admit. It's just horrible. It's so bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's everything that you would imagine, like everything covered in sugar or fat, or it's deep fried, or it's pizza or burgers.
I can't wait to go.
Can I come?
More than once.
What are we waiting for, Cinderella?
Let's get you ready for the ball.
Done. The message definitely comes across in the song whilst being an awesome punk rock track. Steve, this is right up my alley.
Oh, yeah.
Let's check it out right now. Crazy by June Rats.
First it was expensive, now it comes real cheap. You can get it from the shops, used to get it from the streets. Everything is legal, so you never need sleep. Took a bunch of X's, now you can't get C's. Took a bunch of X's, now you can't get C's. Everyone is crazy like me.
Crazy by Dune Rats. Another awesome track there, Cam. Crazy.
I love it. I seriously love it. It's brilliant.
Our next track is by Sydney metalcore outfit Polaris, who have announced the details of their highly anticipated second studio album, The Death of Me, which is out February 21, 2020 via Resist Records. The band will also be playing shows around the country this February, announcing the Death of Me Australian tour, as well as playing at Unify Gathering in January. Now, this is a really cool song, and the video clip is also really cool. I feel bad for the artist who painted all the artwork that gets destroyed in the clip, but I guess by destroying that art to create art, that's art.
That's art, man. That's art.
Art. But right now, let's check out the new single, Masochist by Polaris.
That was Masochist by Polaris. Up next, Steve, we've got Into the Black by Like Moths to Flames.
Yeah.
Ohio metal hardcore band Like Moths to Flames have dropped a surprise EP, called Where the Light Refuses to Go, featuring their new single Into the Black. The new single comes off the back of previous singles All That You Lost and Smoke and Mirrors. No smoke and mirrors about this song, Steve.
What does that even mean?
It's real.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And is the band's first release since signing with Unified back in September. Now, it's a great balance between heavy and clean vocals in this song, and I just like rocking out to it. So let's check out Into the Black by Like Moths to Flames. That was Into the Black by Like Moths to Flames, and that is our final track of new music for this episode. It certainly is, Steve, and it also brings us to the end of the episode. That's right. Which is always sad, but I've had a really nice time. Have you had a nice time? I've had a fantastic time, Cam. I can't wait to do the next one, because who knows what crazy things would have happened in our lives by then. Exactly. You know? Let me bring junkies back to life, slap phones out of assholes' hands. There's so many things that we've just done in the past couple of weeks. It's just fantastic. I know, it's a crazy lifestyle, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe we should write our own autobiographies. Cool. I'll write yours and you can write mine. All right, done. All right. No, cool. I mean, I'm finished. On that note. Thank you very much. On that note, don't forget to follow us on our socials, on Facebook and also at Garage Rock Podcast on Instagram. And like, share and subscribe, you guys. As always. We said that one for a while, no, apart from earlier on in the show. Yeah, true. Like, yeah. And also, you can send us an email, garagerockpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what your favourite music bio is. Let us know. On that note, I've been Steve. And I've been Cameroni Nose. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.